What's up, guys? Cameron here, also known as the Camster, and welcome back to another video. This one is a bit different. This is going to be predictions for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and those predictions are who is going to die, who is going to bite the dust, as Infinity War would state to you. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out on Thursday. Very excited for the film, and there's been a lot of speculation about who is going to die in that film, and is everyone going to die? Is a select number of people going to die? Who knows? So, I'm going to go through each character of the Guardians, of the so-called Guardians team, and then I'm going to say whether or not they're going to die, and the reasonings behind it. If you guys like videos like this, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps the channel grow, it helps me get more content out like this, and yeah, that's basically it. Let's get right into the madness. First, we are going to start with Adam Warlock, who's going to be the new character in this Guardians franchise. Now, if you are not familiar with Adam Warlock, he is kind of like an anti-hero-ish character. He comes from the comics and comes from the games, and if you haven't read or played any of those things, so basically he is created by the Evolutionaries as this assassin, basically, and he is coming after the Guardians to kill them, and he is basically a god. He's indestructible. And so in the comics, he becomes he's first an assassin, brainless robot type guy, and then the Guardians ease him into at least working with them, especially in the games. If you haven't played the Guardians of the Galaxy game that's on the PlayStation or Xbox, whatever, that's a very good game. Check it out. But that's kind of his role in that, and kind of his role in the comics as well. He's played by Will Poulter. And seeing how he's being introduced, I see him as the less likely of the characters to die, because, he is going to be, a mainstay, a foundation of the future of the MCU as we go along with future movies. So, he's not going to be gone just like that. Not quite yet. But that's my opinion on Adam Warlock. I don't think he's going anywhere. Next up is Kraglin. Now, Kraglin, played by Sean Gunn, the brother of the director of these movies, James Gunn, who is, this is his last Marvel film. He's going off to DC Studios. He's, putting a timetable for all these movies. He is the leader of DC Studios, or co-leader of DC Studios, with another guy. I can't exactly pinpoint his name. But Sean Gunn does a lot of stuff that his brother directs or is involved with. Suicide Squad, all the Guardians movies. I'm sure I can name some more, but they're not on the top of my head right now. But he goes wherever his brother goes. And seeing as his brother is going to DC, and he holds the final piece of Yondu. He has Yondu's fin, right? He uses his fin as powers. Maybe I don't see him going, dying, maybe. Maybe he just kind of, gives up on the team. Maybe he dies. I don't know. But he's going to go with James. He's going to go over to DC. He's going to help him out in films, kind of like him being the Weasel and the Calendar Man. Maybe he's just going to make cameos here and there. But maybe Kraglin's going to be gone. Dead? Probably not. But I can see him disappearing as James, slowly goes and builds DC Studios into a household name. Now we're going to talk about Nebula. Now, Nebula has had a great character arc within these movies. She has turned into this stone cold killer to lovable robot with at least some emotion, and this character arc has just been so big for her. And I think Karen Gillian, I think she's great in the role, and I could see her continuing it. But sometimes actors, which I will get to in a minute, actors sometimes feel like they're hampered down by a specific character and they want to go do some other stuff. Which, I don't know, Karen Gillian, she hasn't really said anything about that, as other actors have. But I could see her going and doing something else, and her leaving the crew, since this is the last Guardians film, right? Maybe since this is the last Guardians film, the Guardians are not going to be completely disbanded. But who knows? Who knows what the MCU has in future of this team? But I don't see her going, even though her dying is more likely than people seem, because of this big character arc and people caring about her more. And I don't see her going. I don't. And especially, well, actually, I do kind of see her going because of the news of Zoe Saldana, which I'll get into. just in a second because of the news that just broke today about Zoe Saldana. But again, seems unlikely. She can die in a lot of different ways. But that's for Nebula. Now, speaking of Zoe Saldana, we got Gamora. Now, Gamora has died before, right? You remember that scene? Yeah, I remember it too. I remember her hitting that pavement. Anyway, I think she's died before. She wouldn't die again. Maybe not. But especially with the news that broke out today that Zoe Saldana is like, yeah, I'm done with Gamora. I think I've reached my breaking point with her, and I get it. She has all these Avatar movies she has to do now. 3, 4, 5, however many more Avatar movies they're going to make. She's the biggest star, one of the biggest stars in that movie, and she's going to help build that franchise. I get it. That takes a lot of work, especially you're underwater a lot. You have all these things on you. I totally get it. Now, the question is, will she die? Will she run away again? Will she be recast? Who knows? I don't see her being recast because, it's a totally different animal. Especially when you compare it to something like War Machine or the Hulk. Edward Norton as the Hulk only had one movie, and then he was replaced by Mark Ruffalo. And Mark Ruffalo has had all these movies. And then you compare it to War Machine, with, I forget the actor's name, but you change from that actor to Don Cheadle. And, that actor had one movie. Don Cheadle's had all these movies and then another TV show coming up with Secret Invasion. But Gamora has been in every single movie that Gamora, the character herself, Zoe Saldana, she has been Gamora in every one of those movies. She has been Gamora in all the Guardians movies. She's been Gamora in Infinity War, Endgame, everything. And also this movie as well. So I see recasting her as a hard choice. Maybe they can do it the way they did Chadwick, but Chadwick was, again, a whole different animal. I don't see her being recasted, so will she die? Possibly. But with Zoe Saldana saying that, she's done as Gamora, I can see the possibility of her leaving the team and leaving the MCU as a whole. Hello! Sleep. We got Mantis. Now, Mantis, with the whole news of her being Quill's sister, that news is fresh. That could create some emotional boundaries with Mantis. And seeing how if she dies, more people will be affected because of that connection with her and Quill. But, a lot of people are kind of mixed with Quill, which I'll get into later, because of some certain decisions he's made. The decisions that have caused the world to basically go into a panic. But, I can see her tagging along with Quill. I can see Palm, her staying as Mantis and her staying in the MCU, tagging along with Quill and just having that little buddy cop sibling relationship. I think that would be pretty fun because, I think Quill and, Mantis knows nothing of the world. She's completely, oblivious, kind of like what Drax is. And Quill knows everything. And, I think, those two, mindsets will play pretty well with each other and kind of create some chemistry. And I think they have some chemistry. I think they do a good job in their respective characters. But I see Mantis staying. I don't see her going anywhere. And that's my opinion on that. Now, Cosmo. Ever since I saw Cosmo in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, I fell in love with her. A talking Russian dog. I mean, come on. Dogs. Who loves dogs? I love dogs. Surely James Gunn won't kill a dog, right? This cute, cuddly animal. A cute, cuddly animal surely won't die, right? Come on. I mean, come on, right? Come on, James. Please, don't kill Cosmo. Right? But, in all seriousness, new member to the group. I don't think Cosmo's going anywhere. Cute, cuddly animal to replace Rocket. Sorry. I think I spoiled it. But, yeah, cute, cuddly animal. Not dying.
Me? No, come on. Don't be crazy.
Now with Groot, died in the first film. Turned into this little tree bud, grew up within our very eyes. He was a baby in the second one. He's a teen or a young adult in this one. Looks like a buff bodybuilder you see at the local gym. Dude's ripped. I don't see Groot going anywhere, but the only way I would see Groot dying or leaving is that Vin Diesel's like, hey, it's all about family. And like, he goes and finishes off the Fast movies. You know, that's the only way I see Groot going anywhere. Vin might just be very busy and he'd be like, oh, it's all about family, or whatever he says. Yes, family. It's all about family, right? I don't see Groot dying, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh man, Star-Lord. You know what, man? You've been through some shit, haven't you? You saw your mom die from cancer, you got kidnapped by some weird-ass blue guy, and your dad turned out to be a serial killer planet. And your girl left you and kicked you in the nuts. How's that for a life? But in all seriousness, I think Star-Lord, I think he stays. I don't think Chris Pratt's going anywhere. I don't think he's dying, especially. If Star-Lord dies, that's probably going to be my biggest, I think, like, what the fuck. Because, you know, he's the main guy of the Guardians. He's the one that holds them together, I think. And I think each character complements each other very well. But I think Peter is that guy. That guy that holds the foundation to what it is. And so, Chris Pratt, I don't see him going anywhere. Unless, you know, James Gunn wants him for some DC project. And he's like, you know what? Fuck you, Marvel. I gave you all my years. I'm going to go over to DC. Maybe he wants to try something new. Who knows? But, again, I keep on forgetting that actors can do different projects at the same time. But, you know, enough superheroes, right? There's too much going on. So I get it if he leaves. But for this movie specifically, I don't see Star-Lord going anywhere. Oh, Drax. Drax. You are one of the two people that is, you know, rumored to have been, you know, killed in this film, and I could see a good reason for that. You know, Dave Bautista. I love Drax for two reasons. I love Drax because one, he's a fucking idiot, and I love when, you know, it's portrayed in a good way. You know, idiots portrayed like that, and it's portrayed, and you know, Dave Bautista plays the character, and you know, since I've been a big wrestling fan for almost, you know, more than half my life, probably, yeah, way more than half my life, since I was like 5 years old. No, and I love Batista, and I think he has grown into such a good role, and as Drax and as a good actor, I think, especially, you know, he said it all along. He's like, you know what, Drax, I'm done with Drax. I want to be in more dramatic films, and that's a good accomplishment. Good on you, Dave. Keep doing that, because I think you are the better actor out of the three wrestling actors, the big three wrestling actors. Okay, so keep doing you. But I don't see Drax dying. I don't think Drax dies. I think he just leaves the team and retires. And I think he just, you know, he does a Thanos. He goes and finds a farm, and he just lives on that farm. And he just grows crops. Maybe he grows crops with someone. Maybe Mantis. Maybe Mantis and Drax, you know, they get a thing going on. Maybe they go build a farm. Who knows? Go do you, Drax. You know, you turn into this big barbarian, and you turn into the soft, you know, kind-hearted, soft-handed guy who just grows crops in his backyard. Go ahead, go for it. But I think Drax, I think he leaves. He's gone. You know, death, I don't know. I think there's going to be too much death in this movie. So Drax dying, probably not. But leaving, just like, you know, saying I'm going to go do something else and just leaving the group, I think that is more appropriate for Drax than him dying. Because, you know, Drax is indestructible. He's fucking Batista, man. He'll Batista bomb you. Batista bomb! Get off him. Now this one's going to be hard to talk about.
Well, this is going to hurt like a mother...
This one's Rocket. Rocket is going to die. And I am going to be so fucking sad when he dies, because he is one of my favorites. I think he has grown on me so much as a character. You know, Bradley Cooper has done such a fantastic job of, you know, voicing him and creating this identity for Rocket. And, you know, Bradley Cooper is also one of those guys where he's saying he, you know, only wants to star in things he's written or directed, and which means, you know, his tenure as Rocket is going to be over. But again, that's not necessarily bad, because, you know, James Gunn said, you know, other people are voicing Rocket in this Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And so I guess you can get someone else to voice Rocket and make it sound like Bradley Cooper, but it's just not going to be the same, because Bradley Cooper is iconic and he is connected to Rocket as a whole. And I can see him being gone because of how the story is being written around him and from the trailers, and how, we're going to learn more about his backstory, and how the High Evolutionary, which is the guy who created Rocket, who tortured him and turned him into this, into this animal hybrid type thing. He's coming in. He's going to be the main baddie. And, who else makes Quill cry in the trailer like that? Who else is making him, scream his lungs out? Who else is going to make him do that? Maybe Gamora, maybe. But him, Quill and Rocket, I think they've grown a relationship together, and they've been through so much. And that, yeah, sometimes they banter back and forth, but that's what good partnerships are all about, is all about that banter and that friendship that they have. And for fuck's sake, Rocket calls Star-Lord Pete.
Pete, I'm done running.
He's been calling him Quill for 4-5 movies now, but he's calling him Pete, not even Peter. Like, if he's gonna call him by his first name, he's gonna call him Peter, but he's calling him Pete, like a nickname for his first name. Like, what else is that gonna tell you? Things are gonna hit the fan, and I'm gonna bawl my eyes out in that theater when he dies. I swear to God, I'm going to cry. But I'm just praying and I'm hoping that he doesn't die. But unfortunately, I think he dies. But yeah. Well, that's all the Guardians characters. That's all 10 of them. And that's going to be the end of my prediction video. This movie is going to be so sad. I am not ready, but again, I am ready. Because I need a palate cleanser from the shitamania. Shit man and the Wasp, whatever you want to call it. I need a palate cleanser from that film. So this movie I'm excited for. And yeah, so if you guys want more predictions like this, especially for Marvel films or DC films, I might get into DC films, who knows. But if you guys want to see more stuff like this, please like, subscribe. It really helps out the channel, like I said before, prior in the intro. And as always, if you haven't liked and subscribed, what the hell you doing? Like and subscribe, damn it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.